The Nigerian internet space woke up to an absolute earthquake this Sunday morning, the 1st of March 2026, as one of the country's most prominent and continuously controversial Islamic clerics dropped a statement that literally left everyone speechless. The moment the news broke globally that the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, had passed away following intense and devastating military strikes by the United States and Israel, the entire world held its breath, waiting to see how different nations and religious leaders would react to this monumental shift in the Middle Eastern politics. But absolutely nobody, not even the most seasoned political analysts in Nigeria, expected the kind of reaction that came from Kaduna State. Taken to his official Facebook page in the early hours of the morning, Sheikh Gumi posted a message that instantly went viral, sparking a massive firestorm of debates, arguments, and sheer confusion across every social media platform. In his short but incredibly heavy statement, Sheikh Gumi reacted to the reported death of the Iranian leader by describing him as a lucky soul who died in Jihad. He went further to explicitly state that Khamenei died in a holy struggle against the killers of innocent children and women in Gaza and elsewhere. These specific words, calling a man who was arguably the biggest enemy of the West a lucky soul and a matter of jihad, were what completely broke the Nigerian internet in two, dividing public opinion sharply along religious, political, and ideological lines. To truly understand why this single Facebook post caused such a massive uproar, we have to look closely at the deeply entrenched religious dynamics within Nigeria and the historical context of Sheikh Gumi's own religious standing. For decades, the Islamic landscape in Nigeria has been characterized by a distinct separation between the majority Sunni Muslims and the minority Shia Muslims, who are largely represented by the Islamic movement in Nigeria under the leadership of Sheikh Ibrahim el-Zakzaki. Sheikh Gumi is a very powerful and influential Sunni scholar, and historically, the ideological differences between his followers and the Shia community have been incredibly sharp, sometimes even leading to bitter public disagreements. In fact, years ago, there were open verbal clashes where the Shia leader accused Gumi of bringing bad innovations among Nigerian Muslims, while Gumi in return warned that the actions of the Shia followers were a disturbance to public peace. Because of this well-known and long-standing ideological divide, the average Nigerian internet user expected Sheikh Gumi to either remain completely silent on the death of Iran's supreme leader, who is the global figurehead of Shia Islam, or to perhaps offer a very neutral, detached commentary. Instead, Gumi chose to completely bypass all sectarian differences, bridging a massive theological gap by praising Khamenei's death as a noble sacrifice for the Palestinian cause. By specifically tying Khamenei's death to the ongoing violence and the suffering of innocent children and women in Gaza, Gumi tapped into a deeply emotional issue that resonates with millions of Muslims across the world, regardless of whether they are Sunni or Shia. He essentially framed the late Iranian leader not as a sectarian rival, but as a universal defender of the oppressed, a move that shocked his own conservative followers just as much as it surprised his biggest critics. The immediate reaction online was nothing short of explosive. On one side of the internet divide, thousands of users began sharing Gumi's post with overwhelming approval, praising the Kaduna-based cleric for putting humanity and the defense of the vulnerable in Gaza above strict religious sectarianism. These supporters argued that the relentless military campaigns that have devastated parts of the Middle East over the past few years require a united front, and they commended Gumi for recognizing Khamenei's resistance against what they view as aggressive Western and Israeli military policies. They saw the statement as a bold, fearless declaration of truth from a man who has never been afraid to speak his mind, no matter how unpopular his opinions might be with the government or the international community. However, on the other side of the digital divide, the backlash was fierce and immediate. A massive wave of commentators strongly criticized the cleric for glorifying a foreign leader whose country has been deeply involved in funding various proxy conflicts across the Middle East. Many Nigerians expressed deep frustration that a prominent religious leader was spending his Sunday morning praising the concept of jihad in foreign lands, while Nigeria itself is currently drowning in a sea of severe internal security crisis. People angrily pointed out that while Gumi is busy analyzing the Middle East, armed bandits and terrorists are still wreaking havoc in the northern forests of Nigeria, kidnapping innocent citizens and destroying communities. They demanded to know why the cleric, who previously spent years venturing into the forests to negotiate with local armed groups, was not using his massive platform to forcefully condemn the killers of innocent women and children right here in his own backyard. This intense national frustration over misplaced priorities was perfectly captured by the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, who coincidentally issued a very stern warning to political and religious leaders on this exact same Sunday morning. While the internet was busy fighting over Sheikh Gumi's comments about Iran, Peter Obi took to his official social media handle to lament the alarming scale of insecurity in the country. He heavily criticized the political elite for already focusing all their energy and resources on the upcoming 2027 general elections, while violence continues to devastate communities and Nigerians are literally dying every single day. Obi's statement deeply resonated with the anger directed at Gumi, as many citizens felt that both the political class and the religious elite are completely distracted by foreign affairs and future political ambitions, leaving the ordinary Nigerian citizen to face the harsh realities of daily survival entirely alone. The contrast between Gumi mourning a foreign leader and Obi begging leaders to look at the dying citizens at home created a perfect storm of online debate, dominating the trending topics and generating thousands of passionate think pieces from public commentators, human rights activists, and ordinary citizens alike. As we continue to break down this massive internet controversy and look at how global events are shaking the tables right here in Nigeria, if you are finding this detailed analysis helpful and want to stay fully updated on the stories that truly matter, please take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support is absolutely vital, and turning on your notification bell ensures you never miss out when we bring you the factual, straight-to-the-point gist of what is happening in our country and around the world. Now, moving beyond just the social media arguments, the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and the massive military strikes across the Middle East are having very real immediate consequences on the ground in Nigeria, proving that we are not isolated from these global shocks. Just as Nigerians were debating Gumi's controversial Facebook post, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, widely known as FAN, was forced to issue an urgent travel advisory to all passengers. The intense exchange of fire, which reportedly included loud explosions in the Dubai area of the United Arab Emirates and Iranian retaliatory strikes on nearby Gulf countries, resulted in the sudden and total closure of several major airspace routes. This massive disruption instantly paralyzed flight operations to and from the Middle East, leaving thousands of Nigerian travelers, business people, and international merchants completely stranded at major airports in Lagos and Abuja. FAN had to publicly announce the cancellation and indefinite delay of several international flights, throwing the travel plans of countless citizens into absolute chaos. This immediate economic and logistical fallout clearly shows why the events in the Middle East and the statements made by leaders like Sheikh Gumi are not just distant political theories, but matters that directly impact the daily lives and businesses of Nigerians. The Nigerian government is now finding itself in a highly delicate and uncomfortable diplomatic position as this global crisis continues to unfold. With the United States and Israel heavily involved in the strikes that led to the death of Iran's leader, the administration in Abuja has to carefully navigate its international relationships to avoid being dragged into a highly polarized global conflict. Nigeria has deep economic and security partnerships with the United States and Western allies, but it also has a massive Muslim population that holds very strong emotional and religious ties to the Palestinian cause and the broader Islamic world. When a highly influential figure like Sheikh Ahmad Gumi publicly praises the late Iranian leader and frames the conflict as a holy struggle against the killers of innocent children and women in Gaza, it places immense pressure on the Nigerian government to manage the resulting domestic religious sentiments. As the world waits to see who will succeed Khamenei in Iran, with names like President Masoud Pezeshkian and Judiciary head Gholam Hossein Mohseni Ejei already circulating, and as the US prepares for whatever retaliation might come next, Nigerians will undoubtedly continue to debate the true meaning and the long-term impact of Gumi's controversial Sunday morning declaration.